Hello, my name is Mark K. Today I'm going to be presenting K Food Services. I find a personal interest in this because I look around at the world and we see a lot of problems, and hunger is one of them, you know, one of the many problems that we have, but one that I find real solution and can be solved with more effort. Okay. I have aspirations in business and philanthropy. So obviously I want to be successful and start my own business, and same time, I want to change the world around me and make it a better place for the generations to come. When you think about hunger, like it is serious, right? In third world countries, obviously, there are a lot of hungry people worrying about when they're going to eat their next meal, but it's also happening here in America, and we don't really think about that. There's a lot of low income families, and they wonder, when their next meal is going to be and how to provide for their family. Before the pandemic, it was bad. It was 35 million people were facing hunger on a daily basis, and that includes 10 million children. And after the pandemic, or right now, it's not any better. It's worse, actually, because more families have problems finding work and less stable employment. So it went from 35 before the pandemic, and now it's 42 million people face hunger, and that includes 13 million children. And I just want you to think, what hunger feels like, right? You've been hungry before. I just want you to multiply that and then imagine what it'd be like to experience that for extended periods of time, for weeks, for months, just hungry all the time. So competitors for K Food Services, I would say in business is Freshly, Sunbasket, those different food subscriptions. But the problem with those is that they're not affordable to low income families. It's a premium service, and it's usually for like one person, weekly meals, but it's only for one person. You're feeding yourself. But some people with low income, they have families and children that they have to worry about feeding. So the good alternative to this, you can feed your whole family, and it's going to be cheaper. For philanthropy, my competitor is Red Cross. I would say they've done probably the most out of any nonprofit that I could find that's really made steps towards solving world hunger. They work in third world countries mostly. They do work here in America as well. So K Food Solutions, we'll get down into brass tacks. I'll tell you what it's all about. So this service provides an affordable food for low income families. So how do we do this? Is the goal is to make deals with grocery stores, say your local Walmart, your Publix down the street, and kind of like find a way to purchase their foods that are newly expired or past the best sale date. Because a lot of foods, when they say they're expired, if stored properly, they're still good to eat. Obviously, we'd have to check and test all the foods, but especially for the best sold by date, a lot of those foods are still good and still edible, and they just go to waste. So that being said, we have this very affordable food that would otherwise be thrown out. So we can buy it for pennies on the dollar, sell it for nickels on the dollar. So what we do is we're providing a consistent food source for these low income families. It's a subscription based service. So you'd get a crate of food, say weekly, monthly. Um, so that's how kind of goes into customizable options for budget is you can pick what kind of foods you're getting, the quality of the foods, and you can choose your price range and budget accordingly. So you're going to get a crate every week, maybe every month, and then it's going to be frozen foods, non-perishable goods like canned foods. So that's how you could customize those options, and you can also customize how you're paying. Like in the long run, what I want to do with this is, if at all possible, make food stamps an available currency to buy this service. Then you're getting more out of your food stamps, and you can budget towards other things if you're in a low income family. So to wrap it up, this solution I feel like could really make a difference in our local communities. If you look around and like families that are struggling and that need to find a consistent and affordable food service, this could be it, right? Because it's very cheap if it's done the right way. You know, it could be purchasing from these grocery stores as a company. It could be very cheap, or it could be even be donations. So this service would be next to nothing, and it would be very affordable. And like I was saying, if they could be bought with food stamps, that would be awesome too. So a byproduct solutions, as I call them, kind of things that are not really related to the business itself, but what's happening because of the business. Uh, Elimination of food waste. These grocery stores, they throw away a lot of food, right? Because like when you go to Dunkin' Donuts, they throw away their donuts at the end of the day. At Panera, they throw away a lot of bread that doesn't get eaten, and it's this kind of mentality that businesses have, where they just throw it away instead of donating it or making sure it gets to people who need it. It's a big problem. So obviously, getting these foods to low income families that need it is eliminating food waste and also eliminating hunger, because they're getting this consistent food service that is providing for them and their family. All right, and that's the end of my presentation.